Hello, Rabbi Weiss. As you can see, I'm wearing my Yiddish necktie. My name is Kurt Brown, also known as Saint Rambone. I have a website titled Mobile or Mobile Audit Club. You've restored my faith in the Jewish sense of humanity. I do not believe in killing people for land either. I think it's very wrong. When I look at the history of man, I ask, who are the humane human beings? Could this be the sifting out? You know what I'm saying. What's real, what's fake? Perhaps it's a training ground. I was a bank examiner for the Federal Deposit Insurance Corporation. The regional director was killed and labeled suicide. I was attacked. Then I was attacked again for reporting being attacked. I have been forcibly injected. I have been tortured. I have had my name ground in the dirt. I have been robbed of my belongings. I was given crackers to go sit down. I guess it's better than nothing. As you know, the Creator, as you know Him as God, is a lot like Lot, most likely. All things start from something. I admire you very much, Rabbi Weiss. Matter of fact, I love you, my friend, because you're a humanitarian human being. You remind me of some Jews I've known. Many Jews get a bad name. I often wonder who is it that leads many Jews to kill and make holiday names out of it. Is it right? If you come touch the lake in Alabama, Lake Weiss, I'll come there and swim in it. I will consider it my baptism. Until then, I wouldn't touch the filth. And I want to visit Israel, but I feel it is desecrated land. I cannot step over the recent dead bodies that are allegedly there. In my lifetime, I know there's been killing. You notice I draw pictures. I drew these pictures during a time of extreme stress after I was attacked. This picture here is the myth of Sisyphus. As you notice, there's the existence, spiritual, real, the inner core. There's always a constant force pushing it back up, which I guess would be our struggle. There's a constant force pushing from underneath, which would be what? What would it be, Rabbi Weiss? Notice this picture here? This is just remembrance of death, remembrance of life, the nightmare, the existence, the tearing apart. When I see you talking about this, I don't think about the uglier picture. I was in the Navy. I would never do it again. I'm older now, I'm wiser. I don't think being in the military really matters. Particularly if you're not defending the humane. Has the United States behaved humanely in our lifetime? I should say the regime that controls the United States, that controls us. The one that made Wise Man across the street from me when I was a child go fight in Vietnam. He came back and killed himself at a Bellis Hess. Actually, it was a large shopping center. For me, it was large. It was in Mobile, Alabama. We lived on Rosewood Drive. When he came back, he killed himself. He asphyxiated himself behind the Bellis Hess. The Bellis Hess had a roof that looked like tents or temples. I had a dream about Wise Man. I had a dream I was in the driver's seat. Now look back and Wise Man came up out of the back. It was a station wagon. Before Wise Man died, he had some donuts and I was just a little boy. There's another kid there named Cooper that day. I hope he sees this someday. Cooper and I were standing there. I asked him what he had in the back of his truck or his station wagon. He said a deer. Me being a young boy anticipating seeing a dead deer. after having learned to kill by my father, who taught me to hunt little animals, which I was aghast at when I first saw it. The killing of a bird. How cruel it was for a young boy to see this. Maybe he was teaching me the ephemeral nature of life. My father was a wise man in some respects. In others, he was beaten down and sickened. I think he followed the lie that you talk about, that other people are falling into killing. Yes. He told me not to drink out of a bottle, a stranger's bottle. When I grew up, at the age of 22, I came across a guy named Randy Kraft, K-R-A-F-T. He had killed numerous sailors and Marines. I met him in Long Beach, California, actually in Belmont Shores outside of Yankee Doodles. I had been drinking. The bus would not come, so I stuck out my thumb. And along come Randy Kraft. He offered me a drink, I said no. He offered me sex, I said no. I noticed something hard in the seat. Underneath the seat cover, I was a naive young man. I thought it was a dog catching device with a rope. I sensed he was a killer. He was probably a foot-long dildo. I told him to let me out. I was about to jump out of his car. He told me to sit still and wait. He dropped me off near the bus depot. We got in front of a hotel. I got out of the car. I guess he was waiting to see if I'd change my mind. When I got out of the car, he took off and almost hit me with a door. 2 weeks later, he was caught with a dead Marine in his car. His kills, probably close to 100. Now the regime wants us to drink from their bottle. I admire you, Mr. Weiss. I've known other Weisses. I admire them very much. I see a lot of Jewish hatred in Alabama and in other places. I don't think everyone knows all the Jews like we do. Yeah. I met a Muslim woman in Vancouver, BC. I heard her talk about the Jews the way I heard some Jewish women talk about the Muslims. It was a reflection of itself. It became absurd. You know why? Because I admired them both. I ignored their ignorance. I tried to imagine what King Solomon was like, how he would deal with it. I imagined him cutting a hole in his tent and escaping from his wives. And then once their argument and bitterment ended, they would realize the king had gone outside. He preferred to sit with the animals. Maybe that's why men go outside. Some of them hunt. Most hunt that I know of. They want to kill the animals. I knew a Hindu one time, a Jain Hindu. She told me that a meat eater's breath smelled like death. That's something to think about, Mr. Weiss. Do you eat meat? I eat meat. I know it'll kill me. I probably should marry a Jain Hindu someday. You're either a nice Orthodox Jew, one that agrees with that you say, one that's humane. I like Jewish women too. Buddhist women, Islamic women. And all things fall. The myth of Sisyphus is at work. Someone got angry. Yes. It's a strange world, isn't it, Mr. Weiss? My dear friend. Perhaps I'll make it to Annapolis soon. I travel triangles. And see, every time they put me in a rope, I snap it. I'm alive. I think. Annapolis, Maryland. Actually, that was a parlor trick. Let me show you some more. Perhaps you can show me some. We should get together for matzo ball stew someday. I've had many ride shares with Jewish hitchhikers. Truth is, I admired all of them. Every one of them was very nice people.